Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Riley. Thank you so much for tuning in to Power Talk Internet Radio. This is Sports Talk with your host, Dan Riley. This past week, the Pittsburgh Penguins became the first team to win the Stanley Cup in back-to-back seasons since the Red Wings did it in 1997 and 1998. After Pittsburgh took down the Nashville Predators. This is an important moment in the history of the NHL. It can get back on track because of this unexpected finals. Now, this isn't about the future of the Penguins. I'm not going to go so far as to say they'll go on a tear and win 4. Sidney Crosby's getting older. The team is open to losing players in free agency. And to be fair, their Stanley Cup wins haven't put them on par with the success of the original 6 teams in the early days of the NHL. However, the team is at least in the discussion for next year, at least. As for the Predators, this heartbreak at least gives them the fire to raise the trophy next year and put Nashville on the hockey map after years of embarrassingly bad or forgettable teams. It should give the NHL some hope they can return to prominence. 2 lockouts nearly destroyed their sport. That's what's so important about this Stanley Cup. I never thought the town I was born in would see the Nashville Predators win a conference title, let alone go to the Stanley Cup Finals. It's nearly impossible to expect that in a state with so little hockey history. After all, most colleges and high schools in Tennessee put their money into their football teams. And yet this seemingly impossible happened. Competitive balance like this opens the door for a game to get watched by a bigger audience. The game of hockey can grow beyond Canada and the American Midwest and New England. That's what I can take away from this Stanley Cup playoff. That's the great thing about this for me. There is hope for the National Hockey League. Unlike countries like Canada, Russia, and Finland, ice hockey isn't embedded in the culture of the U.S. Even I'll admit, as a Michiganian, that Detroit's nickname, Hockey Town, is a misnomer. It's more of a baseball and football town, in spite of all the Stanley Cups the Red Wings have, the sad farewell to Joe Louis Arena, and the fact our state is right next door to the U.S.-Canadian border. Now, hockey fits in a cold state like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Ohio like a glove. So you'd think the Blue Jackets, Red Wings, and Penguins would have turned their cities into hockey cities by now. I'm not bashing the fan bases of these teams. I'm just saying that to make a point. It's now or never for the NHL. This Stanley Cup Finals is a springboard for the NHL. They have to take a chance and try to grow their sport. They blew a chance to grow their league after the U.S. beat the Russians in Lake Placid in 1980, and they undid all the progress they made during the Wayne Gretzky years. So this Stanley Cup, which featured a team south of the Mason-Dixon line, may very well be their last chance. Just having a league-sponsored network isn't helping the NHL. So, in the highly unlikely chance anyone in the NHL's league office is listening, please, please take some action. This opportunity has fallen in your lap. It's been gifted to you. It's been so long since the NHL had a deal with ESPN. The league needs to get one. They'll be broadcasting a game to places where people never even saw a hockey game in their lives. And for that matter, your revenue stream will grow. National Hockey League. You'll be happy, your players will be happy, it'll be a win-win scenario. Second, require every league team to set up hockey camps in their base of operations. This would be a chance to grow the talent pool. Take advantage of it, please. At least try to put up camps in Arizona and Dallas. I don't care they aren't hockey cities. You'll be giving your sport publicity, at least. Major League Baseball is trying to revive their sport in inner cities. They need to grow their sport. People who have never been exposed to a sport can become potential draft picks. It's happened. It can happen. Finally, help grow the game at the youth level. All over the U.S., schools are dropping sports like hockey for budgetary reasons, and pee-wee hockey leagues risk going under. Help these teams teach kids the smart way to handle concussions and hold drives to raise money for gloves and padding. People said soccer wouldn't start broadcasting games here in the U.S., and they were wrong. There's a chance it could happen for hockey, too. Look, I'm very aware the NHL faces long odds of challenging, say, the NFL for its audience. That isn't an excuse for refusing to try. It's now or never. Period. Over the course of my lifetime, pro hockey has gone from one of the big four professional sports to an afterthought on the pro sports scene. I can't describe how shocked I am at the game's badly needed audience. That's only a start the NHL has to take advantage of. Baseball got big-headed and assumed it'd be the national pastime forever. The NFL faces the same downfall with the whole concussion issue. Hockey faces the same fate for more reasons than just medical ones. Heck, hockey is the one sport most likely to go extinct south of Canada on the continent of North America altogether. And that's saying something, given the hot water the NFL is in. No more sitting around. The National Hockey League needs to take the initiative to make the sport of hockey relevant again. Because fans and the sports writers here in the U.S. sure won't. This is Daniel Riley for Sports Talk on Power Talk Internet Radio. So long, and I'll have a new episode for you all next week.